This one man completely transformed the way that I see reality permanently. And after this day, I was never the same. In fact, this day was one of the most pivotal experiences in my life that I attribute my awakening to. And that was the day that I met Sadhguru in person at his ashram in Tennessee. So I'm actually half Indian, for those of you who don't know. My mom's side of the family is completely Indian. And I was grown up meditating, forced to meditate, forced to do yoga every single day. But going to Sadhguru's ashram was actually not something that I was super excited about. In fact, when I was 16, when I went, it was just kind of my mom pulling me along. And I wasn't too deep into the spiritual world as I am now. But this day could not have been better. And it was not what I expected. In fact, I realized after this day that reality is not at all what I thought it was. And we as humans have abilities beyond what we're taught, what we're raised to believe. In fact, all of us have powerful spiritual abilities. And this day marks the day that my mind opened, because what happened, just there was no explanation. There was no logical explanation for what happened. So when I first arrived at the ashram, we were actually doing a training there, and I was participating in a meditation training with my family. And the first arrival at the mountain, which is, it's on this native land, absolutely beautiful and deep in nature. At first, upon arrival, I just felt this energy. Just on arriving, I could feel in the air, there was this powerful essence in the air. And it's something you can't describe. When an area is consecrated, it means that the space has been properly blessed, which all of his land has been properly blessed energetically, which is cleared energetically of negative essence, negative spirits. And we were going there to do a meditation training program, which afterwards I continued actually with Sadhguru to do his mastery meditation course with pranayama, which I'm now certified in, with also multiple other meditation programs. But as soon as I arrived, there was just something special, like my consciousness changed. And I felt this heightened awareness just being in this presence of this land. Not even seeing him at first, I could feel there was a powerful, potent energy in his land and in his temple, his ashram. It was very peaceful, just very serene, deep in nature. But the real magic happened when we sat down and we got to connect with him face to face when he was talking. And I was just sitting in a meditation position, listening to what he said. And he was speaking a lot of very, very powerful wisdom. And there was something very, very distinct that should not have happened that day, but it did. And nothing is an accident. I know this, that everything is divine. Everything happens for a reason. And this was when I realized that this man has powers. This man really has spiritual powers, if you can even call him a man. But after the first portion, which it's 4 hours where you're supposed to sit out of respect and listen to what he's saying, I had to use the bathroom, and so did many other people as well, right? So after we were done talking, I was really, really having to go. So I got up and I see everyone else getting up. And as soon as I see everyone else getting up to go to the bathroom, I'm like, there's no way. I'm gonna go sprint over there and get in front of everyone so I can use the bathroom first. So I just sprint over to the bathroom. All of a sudden, someone pushes me like this, like I feel a hand here. And the guy goes, "Sir, sir." And I look and it's a guard, and Sadhguru is walking like this. Now, after this moment, time started to slow down. It actually sounds crazy, but everything started to slow down. And it wasn't because of my own awareness or expectation. This was a very, very strange and mystical moment in my life that I've never actually experienced. And time just started to slow down, and I saw Sadhguru's aura. I saw him walking, and I just said to the guard that was there, I said, "Can I thank him?" And he said, "Yes, say thank you." Now, I just looked at him. I said, "Sadhguru, thank you." He looked at me like this and just nodded like this. After that, my entire consciousness changed. Everything that I was before, somehow in that moment, it felt sucked out of the room, and I just felt elevated. Like it was very strange. I actually started crying shortly after because I felt this deep sense of connection to everything around me. And I realized I started having like downloads, realizations about how I'm not actually here, how I'm like, I have this divine sense of responsibility. I'm actually getting chills just talking about this because it was so powerful. I started to feel this deep sense of responsibility at the same time, like a serious commitment in this body. Like in one moment I was human and I was just having this physical experience. And then after he went like this and looked at me, after that moment, I had this profound feeling of awakening inside me where I realized I'm not just this body. I'm not just this awareness here. I am everything, experiencing everything from this point of view. And I realized in that moment as well that Sadhguru is not just a human. None of us are actually just humans. We're energies moving through the human body. And there were just so many realizations that came through me about my life, things I was doing. It just opened my awareness. And after that, I remember feeling high the rest of the night, and it was unbelievable. Like I felt like I was on cloud nine. And I mean, obviously there was nothing. I don't drink alcohol. I don't take substances besides some psychedelics in the past, but I did not take anything. There was nothing, and it was completely surreal. It was like my consciousness was elevated and it changed. And after that was when everything really got crazy and really, really strange. So after, I felt so connected to Sadhguru. I felt like he had really done something. I don't know how, I couldn't explain it, but just with him looking at me, something changed. His aura changed. And I understand now why people cry sometimes in his presence. It's not like they're crying because they like want to be with him or something like this. It's because this man has a very, very potent aura. And it's something I've never experienced in my life, where someone just looks at you or you're in their presence and it's so strong that you can actually feel the energetic resonance of the frequency they're emitting. And that's how strong this man's field is. And after that, I was like, there's so much going through my head. I was like, how can one man have this much power and ability? Like this level of being able to just influence other people like this from your consciousness without doing anything. That's superhuman power. In that moment, I realized that this is the power that's within all of us. And it transformed me. I was thinking, how can I attain this level of spiritual development? And I started to meditate afterwards with him, and I started to realize this man is far beyond a man, and just as we all are. But the practices that he's developed over years and years, just practicing different pranayama, different meditation techniques, like the techniques that he taught us that night and many other techniques, they awaken the energies inside of you. They activate you spiritually, where you can actually gain an interface with everyone else's consciousness, as crazy as that might sound. But afterwards was really when things started to get crazy, because in the meditation, after he came back, we had a little break and we did a meditation together, and I had to get as close as I possibly could to Sadhguru because I felt so connected. I'm really not someone who cries a lot, and I started crying because I just felt so in tune and connected to the universe. And there was a feeling inside of me that was unlike anything I've experienced. It was a new level of awareness that it made me realize my place in this universe, that like everything in my life and universe is happening for a reason, and I'm meant to focus. And I started just bawling because I felt so powerful. I felt so much responsibility. Like none of this is by accident. I think a lot of us sometimes fall into this trap of thinking life is just happening by accident, but it's not. We are in a spiritual game, and that's the truth. We're meant to activate ourselves. And when we meditated and we sat with him, he started to do a specific meditation technique, which is an advanced pranayama and meditation method. And as I was doing this meditation technique, I noticed that he started to dance on the stage like this. And it was a very, very strange dance. I've never seen anything in my life, and I will never forget this. It's literally imprinted on my memory. He started to dance like this, and all of a sudden, his eyes rolled up in his head, and his eyes went completely white, and they were glowing. His eyes were white and glowing, and he was like this, just dancing. And all of a sudden, I'm meditating and doing this technique, and I'm looking around, trying to focus on breathing, but I see everyone going like this. All of a sudden, he goes like this. He just snaps his fingers like this and claps, and people, more and more people just start like going like this, like leaving their body. And I'm getting chills just talking about this, but the moment and this experience completely transformed how I see reality, because I had an out-of-body experience and it was incredible. And I saw other people like quite literally leaving their physical body every time he would clap, and he would just dance like this with his eyes rolled up. And I realized he was not in his body either. He was communicating with the spirit world in that moment. And I mean, I literally am getting chills. My hairs are standing up as I'm walking back through this experience, because every time I think about it, it really, really makes me remember how powerful we really are here, and the abilities that every single person can actually come to inside of yourself. If you could even gain a fraction of that power, you could transcend the limitations of your mind and tap in to the energy of your spirit. That is when you become activated. That's when you enter this pure state of awareness and internal bliss. But that was unreal. And I mean, it really, really made no sense in the moment. And it was powerful. In one moment I was meditating, focusing here, and all of a sudden I feel my consciousness go here, and I see like a bunch of patterns, energies like in the room, and Sadhguru like is just on the stage, like, and there's chanting, and they're doing specific mantras that were just divine, the most powerful mantras I've ever heard. And it was just incredible. And this is the importance of meditating, but also just tuning in to your inner spirit. This is so crucial. There's so many techniques that have been hidden from us, from our ancestors, from ancient yogis, that have been passed down, that are meant to help us awaken. And that is what we're meant to do here on this planet. In this life, you are meant to awaken your spiritual abilities. So I'm actually going to be hosting a completely free Telegram group where I share some of these techniques. If you want to join, I'm going to put the link in the description. But thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one.